Hi guys and welcome. Today in this video we're going to talk about one of our favorite online backup services. It's not actually the same like an online storage, but that's a backup service. And it can be handy if something went wrong with your computer or your hardware and you get an access to this data, to your data from literally everywhere in the world. So we spent a lot of time, money, and efforts to analyze all the providers of such services in internet, and we found a great solution. So this is one of our favorite. Jump into this review to find out everything you need to know about IDrive.
Good day for everyone! Today I will tell you the features and tips of a reliable and special service. Watch our review to the very end and let's get started. If you're in the market of an online backup service, there are many variables to consider, including pricing, advanced backup features, performance, and ease of use. IDrive hits high marks across all these categories, and it offers a good price-to-storage ratio too. It doesn't offer a true continuous backup option, and the web interface is a bit fragmented. But those are relatively minor drawbacks. IDrive is an excellent service for consumers and a PC Mac Editor's Choice winner. Pricing, plans, and platforms. iDrive's personal tier costs $69.50 per year for 2 TB of storage, which is a good value. A 5 TB plan will run you $99.50 per year. iDrive also frequently offers discounts for its plans. The personal plan covers an unlimited number of devices, which is great for families and people who simply have lots of devices. iDrive is one of the few services we reviewed that offers a permanent and free 5 GB account. Zul's Big Mind offers a comparable free plan. The business level subscription adds sub-account management features, priority support, server backup, 3 iDrive Express bulk backups per year. Personal users only get one, and an unlimited number of users per account for $99.50 per year. For comparison, Carbonite and Backblaze, $50 per year at Backblaze, charge $71.99 and $60 a year respectively for unlimited storage plans, though those plans each can only be used with one computer. Competing services such as SOS Online Backup, $44.99 per year for 50 GB, and Acron's True Image, $49.99 per year for 250 GB, charge considerably more per gigabyte of storage. SOS Online does cover a respectable 5 computers and an unlimited number of mobile devices though. iDrive is available for Windows, Mac OS, Android version 4 and later, and iOS version 11 and later. You can also download iDrive on this client and Linux Unix servers. Getting started with iDrive. To use this service, you first need to create an account and choose to either use a private encryption key or an iDrive managed key, the default. As with SOS Online Backup, the private encryption key option means you alone can access your backed up files. That means that iDrive cannot decrypt your data even if compelled by law enforcement. If you tend to lose a password every now and then, the default option is likely best, since iDrive cannot help you recover a private key if you forget it. Using a password manager could help you here. From iDrive's notification area icon, you can launch the full application, access settings, and manage the backup schedule. It also integrates with File Explorer in Windows by implementing a right-click option for adding items to your backup set. We like the clear organization and relatively attractive design of iDrive's desktop application, but the color palette is somewhat inconsistent. Spider Oak One's monochromatic look is cleaner overall. That said, we did not encounter any issues with application performance. Navigating the interface is generally quick and painless. In the top right of the app window, there's a section with an account panel, but most links redirect you to the web portal. Below that, there's a universal search bar on the right and a module that shows the remaining storage for your account. The search tool works fine for finding files and file types such as Word documents or PDFs, for example. Down the right side, there are tabs for backup, restore, scheduler, sync, server backup, and settings, with a disk image backup button towards the bottom. Security and privacy. iDrive says it uses 256-bit AES to encrypt data locally by using either a key that iDrive sets or a private key created by the user. Your data remains encrypted during transmission and while at rest on the servers. It remains encrypted until you restore it on the client end. iDrive also supports email-based two-factor authentication for accessing its web and mobile apps, which we appreciate. iDrive's privacy policy states that it collects personal data you provide, such as your name, payment info, and address, and session records, such as the size of upload packets, session date and times, IP address, browser type, and device name. iDrive uses the information to improve and administer its service, personalize the experience, and to communicate with users. iDrive says it does not voluntarily share personally identifiable information with any third party without the user's express consent or unless compelled by applicable state and federal laws. However, you should note that iDrive will remove encryption from the files before providing them to law enforcement if your backup set is protected by an encryption key set by iDrive. iDrive is based in California and is thus subject to US laws. Backing up your data with iDrive. From the Backup tab, iDrive lets you select files and folders from a hierarchical file tree. It pre-populates the section with common user folders, documents, pictures, music, and so on. Checkboxes next to each make it easy to specify individual items for a backup set on the local or web page. By default, the service selects the iDrive cloud as your backup destination, but you can change that to the local Wi-Fi and express device option. All one option with branching choices. A local device could be an external hard drive, for example. The express device option refers to the iDrive Express disk mailing service for bulk uploads and restores. This is also particularly helpful in case a disaster leaves you without any other way to get to your data. This backup service is free once per year to users in the US, while subsequent Express backup requests cost $59.95. Express restore options cost $99.50 per request. Backblaze's similar service is completely free, assuming you return the hard drive in the same condition. Like Acron's True Image, iDrive also lets you backup your entire disk image. If you ever find your hard drive beyond repair, this option could be invaluable, as you can restore a previously working version of your system with the structure and OS intact. iDrive backs up your data using the Continuous Data Protection option by default. With this setting enabled, iDrive looks for updates to your files and uploads the changes after a specified amount of time. Unfortunately, the smallest amount of time you can select is 15 minutes, which means that it is not truly continuous in the way that SOS Online or Acron's True Image is. Otherwise, you can set up hourly or daily backups with the schedule option from the main interface. If you need to free up some space, the Archive Cleanup tool in the upper right-hand corner checks for and deletes files stored in the cloud that you have removed from your local computer. The Sync tab lets iDrive work similarly to file syncing services like Dropbox and OneDrive. You set a location for this folder, to which you can append any number of subfolders, for instant backup and syncing treatment. You see file changes reflected on any other computers on which you've installed iDrive and logged into your account. By default, the service selects the iDrive cloud as your backup destination, but you can change that to the local Wi-Fi and express device option. During file processing and uploading, you can click a down arrow next to the word backup is underway to see which files it is currently processing and an estimate of how long the whole backup will take. The panel also lets you pause the backup. You can use a slider in the settings section to control bandwidth usage in case the upload is slowing other work. A backup log shows how long it took, and iDrive can send an email when it's finished. Restoring data with iDrive. As with everything else in iDrive, the Restore tab is full of options. You can select the original backup device from a drop-down, move files directly to the desktop, or restore them in place to your folder structure using checkboxes. Right-clicking a file here offers the View Previous Version option, which opens a panel from which you can select from all saved file versions. Indeed, with continuous backup turned on, new file versions were accessible right after we saved updates. A feature called Snapshots aims to address ransomware concerns. It shows you a historical timeline of your backup set and lets you recover files at any point along the timeline, should anything nefarious occur to your hard drive. This historical backup of data does not count towards your total backup limit. Drive archives the last 30 versions of files that you backup, so you'll still have access to your files forever, even if you delete them locally. The Clean Archive features is useful if you intend to keep tons of file versions. SOS Online Backup keeps an unlimited number of versions, while Acron's True Image keeps 20 versions of files for up to 6 months. OpenDrive, 50 per year at OpenDrive, keeps up to 99 versions of each file indefinitely. Other options on the Restore page include deleting files from backup, moving them to a trash area from which they are recoverable, and a Share button that launches the web client discussed in the next section. iDrive's mobile app. iDrive's mobile app for Android version 4 and later and iOS version 11 and later allows you to back up data from your mobile device and access synced account files. We had no issues logging into iDrive's mobile app on a Google Pixel running Android 9. Upon logging in, iDrive presents you with a choice between the default service managed encryption and the option to set up your own private encryption key. iDrive's mobile app has not changed significantly since the last time we reviewed it. From the main screen, the app shows a large backup icon with option for people, timeline, and access and restore at the bottom. Tapping anywhere on the background brings you the backup selection page for the device. Data available for backup includes contacts, photos, videos, calendar, SMS, call logs, music, or other files. Of course, you have to give iDrive the appropriate permissions, which is something we don't like to grant liberally. The People and Timeline section are additional organizational tools for your photos. The People feature detects faces in your photos and tags them accordingly, though it recommends uploading at least 50 photos before it can work properly. Timeline just arranges media in reverse chronological order. Google Photos offers the same functionality and much more and backs up your photos to the cloud anyway, so these features feel a bit unnecessary. Zool's Big Mind also does facial and subject recognition, while Acronym's mobile apps can back up nearly all the same categories of data you have on your mobile device. iDrive's backup speed. PC Mac now uses 1 GB file sets to test online backup speed. We tested these backup services using a Lenovo IdeaPad 320 while connected to PC Mac's Ethernet network. 600 MB per second upload in an effort to ensure stability and to avoid any network bottlenecks. Admittedly, a 1 GB file set does not approach the size of a typical backup, but our methodology is sufficient to expose the best and worst performers. Your individual results may vary, however, because of difference in available computer resources and network bandwidth. For our test, we separately time how long it takes the software to upload 3 different 1 GB file sets. Then we take the average of the times and compare them across the board. A drive to succeed. iDrive does just about everything you need an online backup service to do, and more. Top features include disk image backups, folder syncing, file sharing, and file explorer integration. iDrive is also priced competitively and performed best in our speed tests. Our only real problem with iDrive is that it doesn't offer a true continuous backup option. For all this capability and value, iDrive is an editor's choice in the online backup service category, a distinction it shares with Acronym's TrueImage. Acronym's TrueImage is notable for its impressive feature set.